Good morning, student. So, yesterday in last lecture we discussed detail about essay. We completed essay 300, planning of an audit of financial statement. Then we discussed essay 315, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. We discussed detail about that essay. We discussed how that why we required to understand the entity and its environments. We discussed what is the particularly ROMM, that is a risk of material misstatement. We discussed how the ROMM is calculated. ROMM is nothing but the combination of materiality and ROMM is nothing but the combination of control risk and inherent risk. We can say substantive procedure are divided into the two part. That first one is a materiality, today's essay, and yesterday's essay, that's ROMM. The combination of these two, if arrive at particular conclusion, then we come to know what is the substantive procedure as an auditor we supposed to perform. That is what the ultimate motive of that two essay, that is a 220 and 315. 320 and 315. That is what the main motive to estimate the substantive procedure as an auditor, right? So today we are going to discuss essay 320, but before proceed with this essay, in yesterday some of the points which is pending to note it down to you guys in essay 315. Just start to write the things which I noted down to you right now, so that you have some summary points to understand the same. Then we will discuss this essay in detail, right? Okay, fine. Okay, just give the heading in essay 315, duties of auditor. Duties of auditor. Give the heading, duties of auditor. Just write on that. The auditor has to identify. The auditor has to identify and assess. The auditor has to identify and assess the risk of material misstatement. ROMM લખી શકો છો short form માં. The auditor has to identify and assess the risk of material misstatement. The risk of material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. Whether due to fraud or error. At financial statement level, and the assertion level. Through understanding the entity and its environment. Through understanding the entity and its environment. So that is what the main duty which is defined in essay 315 as an auditor. What you supposed to do? That the auditor has to identify and assess the ROMM, whether due to fraud or error. That risk of material misstatement is due to what? Is due to fraud, or it might be due to error. Fraud means you are doing something with some intention, and error is you are not supposed to do with some intention. It's by mistake. You just doing the things without your knowledge, right? That is what the error. So that material misstatements may arising due to fraud or error. There are two parts. I have just noted down over here yesterday that there are two parts. The material misstatement may be based on the financial statement level, or may be based on that assertion level, right? So this is based on these two level. We need to decide what is the ROMM is, right? So it is your duty to decide that material misstatement at a financial statement level and material misstatement at the assertion level. What is the assertion level? That is based on they are talking about the transactions, that which is recorded is properly accounted or not, with the amount, with the accuracy and arithmetical accuracy. That all things we need to consider while we are discussing the material misstatement at at assertion level. But when we going to discuss the material misstatement at the financial statement level, what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to check the revenue and fixed assets part, revenue and balance sheet part, profit and loss accounts and balance sheet items and components. That is what that financial statement level, right? So this is nothing, I just repeat once. The auditor has to identify, and assess the risk of material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error at financial statement level and assertion level, through understanding the entity and its environment. That is what the duty as an auditor, right? Okay, give the second para in continuous paragraph. This will helps the auditor. This will helps the auditor to reduce the risk of material misstatement, to acceptable level, right? Which helps the auditor to reduce the risk at acceptable level, at a particular level, right? Okay, fine. Now just give the second heading. First you just write it that auditor's duty na. Now in second points or second main part, identified, how to identify, just write it, how to identify and assess, the risk of material misstatement. How to identify and assess the risk of material misstatement. Very important question from your exam point of view also, guys. So please note it down, the star mark of this question, because this is the main question. How you come to know the risk material misstatements is over there. So that is what this particular process is talking about, which we will discuss now, right? Heading આપી દીધું તમે, how to identify the risk, how to identify and assess the risk of material misstatement, right? Just to give the first point, first one. Identify and assess the risk of material misstatement, at financial statement level, comma, at assertion level, for a class of transactions, and accounting balances, and other disclosure, full stop, continue, to provide a basis for designing and performing further audit procedure, to provide a basis for designing and performing further audit procedure. That we already discussed now. Once you arrive particular conclusion that the financial statement level and at assertion level the risk of material misstatement is this much, then you come to know how much quantum of the amount you need to verify, or how much quantum of the volume you need to check, right? Because you are not able to check 100%. Why? Because you face some inherent limitation, or you suffer with the inherent limitation of auditing. That's why you are not supposed to check 100% things, right? One question arrived in my mind while we are discussing this thing. That question is this possible that the financial statement is free from material misstatement 100%? 100% free from material misstatement. Is this possible and practicable? The answer is no, never. If any financial statements you take in your hand, there is some material misstatements over there. Depending upon the materiality, it might be a plus minus. But it's not possible that 100% things should be free from material misstatement. It's not possible. There is a material misstatement. That's why the auditor expressed the opinion fair and true and fair. They are not expressing true and correct. They are expressing the opinion true and fair, not a true and correct. That is what the reason behind it. Or as an auditor cannot give the absolute assurance on the financial statement. Auditor just give the reasonable assurance on the financial statement. That is what the ultimate the audit is talking about. So keep in mind, it's not possible to free the financial statement at 100% free from material misstatement. It's not impracticable, right? Okay, fine. But you at least come to know, if you working this risk of material misstatement and you come to know the materiality level, then at least you decide the majority of the part which might be the chances of misstatement. As an auditor, while verification of books of accounts, you come to know that this much of the amount, this much of the transactions might be the chances to having a material misstatement, that you come to know. So that you select that much of the transactions in which you have suspected that that particular transaction having some material misstatement, based on which if you audited that particular transaction majorly, then you arrive a particular conclusion which is might be a true and fair really manners. And if you are expressing the opinion on a particular transaction, then it is like you are expressing the opinion on entire financial statement, because the sample which you selected, it might be represent the entire population of the transaction. Language thodi high thai gayi, but we will discuss the 530 later on. That is a sampling, how you select that, and we will discuss later on that. I will explain you at that moment in detail. અત્યાર સુધી એટલું યાદ રાખો કે that material misstatement you must be considered, and so that you come to know how much of the transactions you are supposed to verify, so that once you express the opinion, then that opinion is true and fair at least, right? That is a first you note it down, how to identify and assess the risk of material misstatement માં first જોયું. Now just give the second heading over there. Second part, matlab first you note it down that identify and assess. Now second, identify the risk throughout identify the risk throughout the procedure of obtaining and understanding of materiality. Identifying the risk throughout the procedure of obtaining understanding of the entity and its environment. Identifying the risk throughout the procedure of obtaining and understanding the entity and its environment, including relevant controls. That is the second point, right? Second point. So obviously, while you are performing your audit procedure, you come to know what is the risk of material misstatement. You verify the control risk. We discussed there is two types of risk over there in ROMM. First one is a risk of material. First one is inherent risk, and second one is a control risk. So you need to verify these two risks to decide the risk of material misstatement. Now second, third one, assess identified risk, assess identified risk, and evaluate whether they are relevant, more pervasive, whether they are relevant and more pervasive, relevant and more pervasive to the financial statement or not, because the transaction may be a material, but you need to check the pervasiveness also, whether that particular transaction, whether that particular material misstatement have a pervasive nature, it is spread all over that particular financial statement level, that you have to decide. Pervasive, we already discussed now. We will discuss the adverse opinion, qualified opinion. While I am discussing that thing, I am explaining you what is the pervasiveness of material misstatement. Based on that, you decide. Right. So assess the identified risk, evaluate whether they are relevant and more pervasive or not. So based on pervasiveness, you decide your audit procedure accordingly while we are discussing the identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement, right? That is the third point. Now come to the fourth point. Fourth point over there. Relates identified risk. Just note it down. Relate identified risk. Relate identified risk to what can go wrong. Relate the identified risk to what can go wrong. To what can go wrong at assertion level. At assertion level. At assertion level. Right. That means if at assertion level, we can say what is the assertion level? That is an acceptable transaction level. If the transaction is properly accounted and software is produced the appropriate data, there is an arithmetical accuracy and all that thing, you need to verify at assertion level. Is there any material misstatements or changes is over there? You need to check. You relate the control with that assertion level, because control need to verify at two levels. First one is assertion level and second one is financial level, right? So that one is. Now next and last one, fifth point. Consider the likelihood. Consider the likelihood of material misstatement. Consider the likelihood of material misstatement, including possibility of multiple misstatement, possibility of multiple misstatement, right? Consider the likelihood of misstatement, including possibility of possibility of multiple misstatement. I will explain you this with a simple example. Sometimes what happens is, if you are taking a particular transaction, then you see that this transaction is not material. Say for example, in your software is charging depreciation at the rate of 10%, suppose. But what actually in reality we added 10%, but in reality the depreciation is charged as 10.5%, because this is some kind of software error, we can say. This is an example. Suppose software is charging the depreciation at 10.5. So what happens is, if you are seeing a particular transaction in particular assets, in single assets, you come to know if the assets value is suppose 1 lakh rupees, then the difference of 10.5 मतलब 0.5% નો જે variation આવશે, that is a very low variation. But if you see the entire assets group, say for example there are 1 to 500 assets having a total value of 10 crores. So in this 10 crores, 0.5% is having a major impact on the financial statement. So sometimes it might be possible if you see the single transaction, then you consider this is not material. But when you see in aggregate form, then you might be believe that this transaction is material. So this is a multiplication of magnitude of misstatement. That what this point is talking about. We consider the likelihood of misstatement, including possibility of multiple misstatement. When the multiple misstatement comes out, just correlate with this example, right? Then you come to know about that. Okay, fine. Now completed this, how to identify and assess the risk of material misstatement. This is the steps I noted down to you. Now just to give the heading, to give the knowledge, just to give the heading, to give a knowledge about, to give the knowledge about the entity, and in its environment, to give the knowledge about the entity and its environment. Auditor shall consider following points. Auditor shall consider following points. Right? We will discuss why we supposed to check the entity and its environment. We discussed yesterday. Now we going to discuss, and you noted down how you can obtain that knowledge. How you can obtain the knowledge about the entity. How you can obtain the knowledge about the entity's environment. That we right now noted down. Just give first point. Just mention first point. Under that, entities objectives and strategy. Entities objective and strategy, first one. Second, relevant industries. Third one, entities financial performance. Next, regulatory and other external factors. And last, entities selection and application. Of accounting policies. Right? This is how you come to know about the entity and its environment. Right? Here, the entity objective and strategy is very important. Second point, what they are talking about, relevant industry. Means you are comparing your industry with another industry, then you come to know what are the factors might be impact directly or indirectly. Is the same is followed or not? Say for example, you are a particular industry having some chemicals and wastage, and that all you need to dispose of in a particular place. Then you the same industry in another states doing the same business, but some kinds of rules and regulation which followed by the other industry, but your industry might not be followed the same. Then by comparing these two industries, you come to know what are the relevant thing you need to consider. So that is what the relevant industry is. Next, entities financial performance based on past performance, because if you are a first time auditor, means in last year there is a predecessor auditor, matlab bijo auditor hoto, and in today this is the first year, as an audit assignment, then you need to consider the financial performance of that company. Then regulatory and other external factors which might be directly or indirectly impact to the industry. and entity selection and application of accounting policies. Do you know accounting policy? I hope you heard about that and you all aware about this accounting policy is depreciations, charging methods of charging depreciations, methods of valuation of inventory. These all kinds of the various accounting policies which we need to follow while we are valuing our financials, while we are valuing our balance sheets components, right? Provision for doubtful debts. These all are the things which is a policy, the things we can say the internal policy of the entity. It might be differ from entity to entity, so which directly or indirectly impact on the financial statement. But while we are discussing about the entity and its environment, we need to check these all the things apparently, so that you having an idea about the entity and what its environment is. So this is a 5 point you need to note it down. If there is a question like what are the things you need to consider while we are verifying the entity and its environment. I hope you are clear with that. Okay. એમાં બે point રહી ગયા, just note it down. Next, financial reporting framework. Continue માં. Last આપણે લખ્યું. What is that? Entity selection and application of accounting policy. Then next, financial reporting framework. Financial reporting framework. FRF. Financial reporting framework. And last one, financial structure of the entity. Financial structure of the entity. So these are the factors which we need to verify while we trying to understand the entity and its environment. Right, that's all. Now just to give this particular important notes behind this essay, just to give the heading important notes, just write on that. When entity is working under CIS environment, when entity is working under the CIS environment, auditor shall obtain the understanding of information system including following areas. So now there is a CIS system is everywhere in every companies and industries. It might be a different, it might be a ERP system, it might be a SAP system, it might be a tele system, depending upon the various structure and IT system of the industry. They are incorporated their inputs in the form of transaction, and the output will be arrived based on their compliance and acceptable accounting principles. If you are debited something, then it might be impact debited and credited, it might be directly or indirectly goes to profit and loss and balance sheet parallelly. Example, depreciation goes to the profit and loss accounts debits, and it might be reduced, it reduced from the fixed assets also. So the impact is parallelly goes down. This is the accounting configuration which we need to enter in the software. So as an auditor, while you are verifying and doing the audit, you also need to consider the IT environments and consideration of that. This is an important question which might be asked regarding the CIS environment by considering this AC 315, right? Just write in includes the following area, right? Write that first area. Class of transactions in entities operation. Class of transactions in entities operation. Second one, procedure by which transactions are initiated, recorded, processed and corrected. Right. Next, control surrounding journal entries. Next, financial reporting process. process. And last one, related accounting records, relevant accounting records, comma, information and specific accounting, information and specific accounting into a specific accounting in a financial statement, specific accounting in a financial statement, right? So these are all things you need to consider while we are discussing the CIS environment. Class of the transaction in the entities operation, what is the types of transaction, right? So that first you need to consider sale, purchase, depreciation, dividend policy. If there is a company who declare the dividend, then DDT, dividend distribution tax, and all this entry you need to enter in your software, and proper output is arrived. So that is what kind of transaction you are supposed to enter depending upon the types of industry. First thing. Second, procedure by which the transaction are initiated. That is what I am talking about before starting this area topic, right? કઈ રીતે ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ઇનિશિએટ થાય છે, કઈ રીતે ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ઇનપુટ થાય છે, ઇનપુટ થઈ ગયા પછી પ્રોસેસ થાય છે, પ્રોસેસ થઈ ગયા પછી કોઈ મિસ્ટેક થઈ છે તો કરેક્ટ થાય છે, અને પછી ફાઇનલ આઉટપુટ આપે છે એન્ટ્રીનું, અને એની ઇમ્પેક્ટ આવે છે ડાયરેક્ટલી ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સ્ટેટમેન્ટ ઉપર. સો આ જે આખું રૂટ છે એને કહેવામાં આવે છે, સ્ટુડન્ટ માર્ક માય વર્ડ, ઓડિટ ટ્રાયલ. ઓડિટ ટ્રેલ શું કહેવામાં આવે ને? ઓડિટ ટ્રેલ, કે જે શું ચેક કરે છે કે ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ક્યારે ઇનિશિએટ થયું, ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ક્યારે ઇનિશિએટ થયું સિસ્ટમમાં, ઇનિશિએટ થયા પછી ક્યારે રેકોર્ડ થયું, રેકોર્ડ થયા પછી ક્યારે પ્રોસેસ્ડ થયું, if there is a mistake arised after processed of that transaction, then ક્યારે correct થયું. These are the process is known as audit trail. What does that mean? Audit trail. And as an auditor, you need to check that audit trail is proper or not in CIS environment specially, right? Next, we discussed that control surrounding the journal entries. Do you know what is the journal entry is? Right? Journal entry is nothing but when the cash and bank is not comes out, and when the person's accounts is debited and credited sometimes, means other than cash and bank balance entries are debited or credited through journal vouchers. Adjustment જેને આપણે કહીએ, right? That is comes under the journal entries. So the special controls is required in journal entries, right? That's why they are talking about control surrounding the journal entries, because the rights of passing the journal entries is not on the every person. Say for example, in any company there are 8 person in account department, then all 8 is not supposed to having a right to pass the journal entries, right? Because this is a very sensitive matter. Other than cash and banks, they are transferring numbers of entry which might be passed through the journal vouchers. You might be seen in your practical article sheet level, but till now just understand, other than cash and bank balances entry are classified as a journal entries, right? So the control is over there is very important. That's why out of 8 only 1 to 2 person having the right on journal entry, કે જે journal entry pass કરી શકે છે, બાકી કોઈ પાસે એવા rights હોતા નથી, right? So that's control also you need to check. Next, financial reporting process, and last, related accounting records supporting information and specific accounting in financial statement, right? So this is how you need to check material misstatement in CIS level also, right? Okay, fine. So this is what SA 315 I am explaining you entirely, and I have noted down the things and points which I think it is relevant in your summary book, right? So till that point our SA 315 is completed. Now we going to start SA 320, that materiality in planning and performing the work of audit. બે વર્ડ ઉપર ફોકસ કરવાનો છે. ફર્સ્ટ વન પ્લાનિંગ એન્ડ સેકન્ડ થિંગ પરફોર્મિંગ. મટીરિયાલિટી લેવલ ડિસાઇડ કરવાનું છે, બટ એ બે લેવલ ઉપર ડિસાઇડ થશે. What that 2 level is? First one is planning and second one is performing, right? We already discussed SA 300. We are discussing how we decide the planning. So at that stage also you need to check the materiality. While at this stage we are required to check the materiality, because then only you come to know what is the nature, timing and extent of your audit procedure, and what is the time limit based on which you completed your audit. So that's why it is a very essential to verify the materiality at the planning level. So that's why materiality in planning and performing the work of audit. Is this materiality level is changed, student? Once you started your audit, suppose you have started your audit today. If you have started your audit today, assume that you already planned your audit work. Now you started your audit today. Subsequently, over the period of time, is this possible to change your materiality level which you decide at the planning stage? The answer is yes. You may change your materiality level, because it is not the fixed percentage which you decided at the planning stage. It might be changed at performing stage. So materiality level might be decided based on the planning stage. It is at planning stage also, and it might be in performing stage also, and it might be differ also. Sir, kyare differ thai? What is the circumstances based on which we changed our materiality level? The circumstances is just like the new pronouncements of the governments, new regulations, and the act and amendments comes out. It might be a change in the scope of audit. It might be the availability of the data or the transaction which you required. It might be changed. જ્યારે ઓડિટ સ્ટાર્ટ કર્યું હતું ત્યારે ગવર્મેન્ટે કીધું તો હા સાહેબ અમે બધું આપશું. પછી જ્યારે ઓડિટ સ્ટાર્ટ કર્યું ત્યારે ખબર પડી કે આ પર્ટિક્યુલર ડેટાસનું તો કન્ફર્મેશન જ નથી આવતું, એન્ડ મેનેજમેન્ટ ઇઝ નોટ સપોઝ ટુ allow us to communicate with that particular data to take the confirmation from them. So what the auditor is doing here? Auditor is nothing. At the time of planning, management say everything is fine. We are giving you the confirmation of all the data and all the things whatever you ask from us. But subsequently during the audit performing procedure, auditor come to know कि भाई तो management ना पाड़े कि no, we are not supposed to give this. So what you are doing? You obviously change your materiality level, students. You obviously change. You having a questioning mind. भणिया ने आपड़े auditor having a questioning mind, that is professional skepticism. We discussed in कया ऐसे में भणिया था आपड़े याद छे? ऐसे 200 overall objective of the audit of the independence and conduct the work of audit in accordance with standard of auditing. In that essay we are discussing this, right? So auditor having a questioning mind. So during the performing stage, auditor come to know कि हाँ भाई आवा factor फरी गया, then you need to change your materiality level. You need to check you need to again restated your audit procedure. You again restated your nature, timing and extent. You again restated your sample level on that particular area where the information is not available, or it might be changed from planning to performing stage. Right? So that's why our essay name is like a materiality in planning and performing the work of audit. I hope now you get the meaning of this particular heading of essay 320, materiality in planning and performing the work of audit. Right? Okay, fine. Now, you all need to write these concepts of materiality first and just move out. Yeah. Just write on that, and we will discuss now what is the concept of materiality. First one, general FRF explain materiality as. There are two parts. I am divided these concepts of materiality in two parts. First one is this FRF based. This is a FRF based materiality, and this one is general FRF explain as a materiality as. First one, students. Misstatements includes omission. Omission means error, or we can say forget. We are forget to record that transaction. That is what the omission is. તમે ભૂલી જાઓ છો કાઈ રેકોર્ડ કરવાનું છે. That is what the omission. So misstatement includes omission. Next thing you need to check material check. Suppose you are forget to record the transaction of, say for example, 20,000 rupees. You are forget to record that transaction, say for example, amount of 20,000 rupees. And you are doing the audit of the company having a turnover of say for example 25 crores. you are doing the audit of the company having a turnover of 25 crores, and your accountant is supposed to omit it to record the transaction with the amount of 20,000, then whether the same is material? No, the same is not material. But your accountant is forget or omitted to enter the transaction with the amount of suppose 20 lakhs rupees, then whether the same is material? Yes, this is a material. So you need to check every time whether the transaction is material or not, right? So over here, misstatement includes omission. Is the same is material? If yes, then also check. If yes, then it's fine. You need to that the same. If there is a two part over here, huh, students. This is a no, and if the answer is yes, if the answer is yes, then this is shifted to over here, right? If the answer is yes, then it will be influence the economic decision of the reader. It will influence the economic decision of the reader, and just added one line over there, over here, require separate disclosure in financial statement. Require separate disclosure in financial statement, right? Okay, if the answer is no, then check individually or in aggregate. હમણાં જ એક્ઝામ્પલ લીધું ડેપ્રિશિએશનનું કે ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ કોઈ અસેટ્સને જોઈ તો આપણને થાય છે ઓ ઇટ ઇઝ નોટ મટીરિયલ, બટ વેન વી સી ધ રિયાલિટી એન્ડ એગ્રીગેટ, then we come to know this is material. So always consider the transaction as in aggregate manner, because sometime it might be possible the transaction may not be considered as a material when we see the same individually, but when we consider in aggregate impact, then it will create a materiality, then it will be considered as a material transaction. So always see the aggregate impact on the financial statement rather to look the single impact that of a financial statement, right? So if the answer is no, then check the individual or in aggregate, and if the answer is yes, then influence the economic decision of the reader, require the separate disclosure in FS, and if the answer is no over here, then ignore the same. If the answer is no, then ignore, right? Now come to the second part, general FRF. FRF means financial reporting framework. Explain materiality as first one, this second one, judgments about the materiality. Judgments about the materiality, because it is all about judgments, now students. How you decide the materiality level? That is based on judgments. And what is the judgment? What is the professional judgments? I will explain you while we are discussing SA 200 what is a professional judgment is, right? So this is what the judgments about the materiality, students, are made in the light of surrounding the circumstances. Judgments about the materiality are made in the light of surrounding the circumstances and affected by size, nature of misstatement. Because judgment are taken based on surrounding of the circumstances, in the light of surrounding. What are the things in between you that based on which you decide the level of materiality? That's what your judgment is now. Whatever the materiality level the auditor arrives, it depends on the judgments of the auditors, right? And affect by size, nature of misstatement, because there are various types of misstatement. Any size કેટલી છે? So say for example, size means in a quantum, amounts ma, in amounts 1 CR, 50,000, right? Based on this kind of size we decide the misstatement level. And the second thing they are talking about the nature. Transaction કયું છે? Whether the transaction is material, accounting policy. This is an example of size of misstatement, right? We can say estimates, very important, estimates. Do you know that there are various kind of estimates in business which the management is supposed to take? Say for example, charging, provision of doubtful debts. That is based on the professional that based on judgments of the auditor, or that is based on estimates of the management may decide what is the estimates of that, right? So this is what the estimation is. So affect by size and nature of misstatement, that also you need to consider. Judgments about the materiality level, right? Next, judgments about the materiality, judgments about the matters that are material to the users, consider the common financial information needs of user of the group, right? There's three things you need to check. Now come to this second part. If FRF discuss the factors affecting the materiality, ઘણી વખત એક્ટમાં જ કહી દીધું છે કે આ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન મટીરીયલ છે હર્ષભાઈ. સર ઘણી વખત શું કહી દીધું છે? એક્ટમાં જ કહી દીધું છે કે આ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન મટીરીયલ છે. Then you consider this transaction as a material. You have no particular scope and option to decide whether this transaction is material or not. If act say, then you have to consider the same as material. Sir, example આપો. Say for example, act has mentioned some particular statutory provisions you need to enter or check the compliances, statutory compliances. I will give you the simple example. Say for example, gratuity. Provision of gratuity in listed companies. We require, as an auditor, you're supposed to take the actuarial report to decide the provision of gratuity. If you are not having that particular actuarial report, then your report should be qualified. Your report should be qualified. There is a qualifications is over there on financial statement if you are not receiving that actuarial report of gratuity in a listed company. Right? So this is what the act is talking about કે જો તમને actuarial નો report ના મળ્યો, listed company છો ને, તો ઓડિટરે શું કરવાનું છે? એ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ને મટીરીયલ માનવાનું છે અને રિપોર્ટ ને શું કરવાનું છે? ક્વોલિફાઈડ કરવાનું છે. સો યુ હેવ અ નો સ્કોપ. તમને કોઈ લિસ્ટેડ કંપનીના એકાઉન્ટન્ટ એમ કહે છે કે સાહેબ હું વર્કિંગ કરીને આપું, અમારા ડિરેક્ટરની સહી સિક્કા લઈ દઉં, આ રિપોર્ટને તમે એક્સેપ્ટ કરી લ્યો ને, અમારી પાસે એક્ચ્યુરિયર નથી. નો, you have some foundation in FRF. You have some limitation in financial reporting framework that you not consider the same. What the act is talking about, कि transaction material है, then it will be a material. So this is the two basic type of materiality, right? So I hope you are clear with the concepts of materiality. We have discussed the detailed part of materiality in tomorrow's lecture. For till, just I stop down the same over here. If you have any doubt, then you may WhatsApp me or you may call me at your time, at any time. Right? We will discuss the same further SA 320 on tomorrow's lecture. I completed now. Thank you very much.